Hey everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to create a table in SQLite using Python. We're currently working with a memory database. Of course, you could use an actual database file if you just put the name of the file there. The only problem with that is if the table already exists, you're going to get an error. With a memory database, it's going to let you run that code over and over again because every time you launch the application, it restarts and gives you a new database. So I'll show you an example of that in a moment. But for now, get this boilerplate code, import SQLite 3, make a connection, and then using that connection, we get a cursor object, which is going to be used to actually work with the database. So to create a table, what you do is you say c.execute, and execute allows us to execute SQL directly to the database. So what we can do is we can say create table, and we're going to create a table for books, and then inside of parentheses, you can put the columns. So every single book is going to have this information, and I'm going to keep it really simple. We're just going to have a title and a page number. So to create a title, you say title, and the data type is going to be text, and then a comma, and then the page number, we'll just call it pages, and this is going to be an integer. So just to understand the syntax here, if you are fairly new to databases, we, by convention, capitalize any of the commands or the data types. So the create table is capitalized. And then any of the stuff we choose, like the table name or the column names, those are in lowercase. Books is the table name, and then title and pages are the two columns. That's just a convention though. It's not case sensitive, so you can title it however you want. But I think it's a pretty good idea to follow the common conventions. Now this text and integer, these are known as data types, similar to how types work in Python. You can have an integer or a float or a string. Well, there are some data types for SQLite. So those are the data types we're going to use. And then what we can do is we can run this, make sure we don't get any issues, and it works. Now, every single time we run this, it works just fine. If we were using an actual database file, so let me go in here and I'm going to say database.db, very creative name, save this and run. Well, now the first time it works, but the second time you can see it through an error. And it says table books already exists. If you want to have that same behavior with a database file and not just a memory database, what you can do is you can basically say, hey, we want you to create this table if it doesn't already exist. So what you can do is after table here, you can say if not exists, and then it'll only create it if it does not exist. If it does exist already, it's not going to create it and you don't get any errors thrown. So now we can run this, and look, we're not getting any errors every single time we run it. The table is only being created that very first time. All the other times, this code does nothing. Now the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is that if you have a really large query, it's going to be pretty ugly if you have to put it all on one line. So you can actually do multiple lines by using 3 quotes at the beginning and end. So we'll put 3 there, and then 3 there. And then what we could do is we could bring these columns down to the next line if we want, like so, however you want to format it. So I'm just going to go back to the memory database here, like so, and this will be the code that we'll start with in the next video. And by the way, next up, we're going to talk about how to insert data into our table. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Please be sure to subscribe.